Welcome to Park City Market Talk webinar, where you get the latest news about what's happening in the Park City real estate market. I'm Ron Wilstein, broker at Keller Williams here in Park City, Utah.
And I'm Ed Knapp, buyer's consultant for the Wilstein team, and we're here to share with you what's been happening in Park City and particularly what's happening in our real estate market.
Well, I'll talk about what's happening in Park City. What's coming in about 9 days is the Sundance Film Festival. We hope you'll come up here and enjoy it. There's lots of film celebrities and a ton of fun.
And people in black.
People in black, just like us today. All right, that's our uniform here. All right, so we'll share with you a couple details later through the webinar that may help you as you plan your trip here for Sundance.
We are broadcasting this evening from our offices near the Canyons Resort in Park City, Utah. We bring these presentations to you live each month on the second Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. We do this to be your source for current information about Park City real estate.
We present our Market Talk webinars to keep you informed about any changes that happen in the real estate market. We're also here to answer questions that you may have. And so if we don't happen to cover them in this evening's topics, feel free to give us a call and we would be happy to assist you in any way that we can. Let's begin by identifying our topics for the evening.
We're going to begin today's presentation by looking back at least a year at what sold and what occurred within the property values in Park City.
And then based upon market trends, we're going to look at what happened in the past and try to make some projections of what should occur or likely to occur in 2013.
And we'll share with you how you can ski or snowboard for free this season through the Park City's Quick Start program.
And then we're going to show you how you can buy or sell real estate through a self-directed IRA, which is a wonderful but underutilized investing vehicle. But before we get into these topics, I want to remind you that you can always go back and watch past webinars that we have presented. We've covered a variety of topics, and just simply go back there on our website and look at what we've covered, select the ones you want information on, and they're available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Simply go to ronwilstein.com/webinars. So let's get started. Let's take a look at 2012.
The information that we're going to share with you covers closed sales over the past 12 months from January 1st, 2012 through December 31st, 2012, and then we will compare the sales activity to the same time the year before. The total number of homes, condominiums, and vacant lots or vacant land sold during the past 12 months is up by 10% or 115 sales from the total number of sales during the same period the year before. There were 1,228 sales in Park City over the past year compared to 1,113 the year before.
When we look at the different categories, there were 527 homes that sold during the past year compared to 475 the year before. So we got 52 more property sales, and that's up about 11%. Condo sales were also up by 15%, with 542 sales this past year compared to 473 the year before. So that's up by 69 sales. Definitely heading in the right direction there. Lot sales were, however, down by 6 sales, which mathematically equals a 4% decline, from 165 sales in 2011 to 159 sales this past year.
Now let's look more closely at what sold. Home sales in Park City, they were up 10% from the year before, with 171 sales during the past 12 months compared to 155 the year before. Home sales also in the Snyderville Basin, there were 356 sales during the past year compared to 320 the year before. The increase was 36 sales, or statistically 11%.
Condominium sales rose by 19% within the Park City limits, with 320 closed sales during this past year compared to 270 the year before, increasing 50 sales. Condo sales in the Snyderville Basin rose by 9%, or 19 sales, from 203 sales the previous year to 222 during the past 12 months.
Vacant land sales were mixed, with them rising within the Park City limits and falling in the Park City County area, the Snyderville Basin. Within the Park City limits, lot sales rose by 18 sales, to 43 sales this past year compared to 25 the year before. That's up 72% and very healthy.
Yep.
Lot sales, however, fell in the county area with 24 fewer sales during the past 12 months compared to the year before. This past year, we saw 116 sales in the Snyderville Basin compared to 140 sales the year before. This amounts to a 17% decline year over year.
So all in all, we are continuing to see the number of sales increasing each month. That's very, very good news. Now let's turn our attention to prices. Price values are mixed in all three categories: homes, condominiums, and vacant land. Home prices are up 5%, as you'll see in this chart. Within the city limits, the median home price rose during the past year to $1,025,000. That's up from $975,000 the previous year. Unfortunately, property values in the Snyderville Basin went from $650,000 to $615,000 during the past year, so a 5% decline there. So while the number of home sales in the Snyderville Basin rose by 11%, home prices overall fell, and sometimes that's what has to happen. Values have to come down. That triggers or stimulates sales, and then they go up. That appears to be what occurred.
And that was in the Snyderville Basin.
That's in the basin, yes.
Condo prices were also mixed, falling within the city area and rising within the county area. Now that is interesting.
Yes, it is.
Median price for condos within the city Park City limits fell by $27,500 or 5%, from $510,000 to $482,500 during the past year. Condo prices rose by 4% in the Snyderville Basin, rising from $260,000 the year before to $271,500 this past year, showing some strength. Land values rose in the city and the county areas. Median price for vacant land in Park City was $500,000, up from 4% to $480,000 the year before. Lot prices in the Snyderville Basin rose by 56% over the previous year.
Wow.
They climbed from $160,000 to $249,000, an excellent increase. And if you remember, the number of sales had dropped, but that's probably the reason why prices are up.
That's right. Now let's take a look back over the past 8 years and see what occurred in Park City from the height of our market in 2005 through to the close just this past year, 2012. Now from these figures, you can see that the direction of the market is clearly heading upward, and that's a good sign as we go into the new year. This chart shows the total number of closed sales for each year, and these are all homes, condominiums, and vacant lots combined.
The height of our Park City market, for most of you probably know, this was 2005. That's when we saw the greatest number of sales in Park City history. There was a record number of sales with 2,989 properties sold that year, an average of 8.2 sales per day among all the real estate brokerages combined. Then in 2006, the real estate bubble popped and sales dropped for 4 years in a row. In 2006, the number of sales fell by 42% to a total of 1,736 closed sales, or 4.8% average, or 4.8 transactions per day average.
And we saw 3 more years of decline. 1,472 sales in 2007. That's a 15% drop-off, down to 4 sales per day. Then 810 sales in 2008, 45% drop, down to 2.2 sales per day. Then an all-time record low for the sales history in Park City was in 2009, with only 693 closed sales all year. So that's 1.9 sales per day. That's a total drop of 77% from the market height in 2005.
Tough times, Rob.
I remember them well, and I'm glad we're past them. Then the market started to recover. The number of sales rose by 38% in 2010, going from 693 sales up to 955. Then 2011 sales climbed another 16% to 1,112. 2012 just concluded with a 10% increase up to 1,228 closed sales. So this works out to an average of 3.4 sales per day. So as you can clearly see from this graph, the Park City market continues to strengthen and improve, steady growth for the past 3 years, and it will likely continue through 2013. This is very good news, and this is what I'm anticipating is going to happen.
And the data is indicating that this is going to be a good year. We're hoping to have a very, very good report next year for all of you, and we hope that you join us in participating in this. As we mentioned during our introduction, the Sundance Film Festival is coming to Park City. It will begin on Thursday, January 17th, and continue through January 27th.
Now, to get more information about the festival, including ticket packages, go to sundance.org/festival. You can get a list of films there. You can learn about panel discussions that will be taking place, and after each film, they're actually pretty interesting if you've ever gone to those. You'll also want to check out the YouTube section of the website for some very interesting interviews with writers, actors, directors, you name it. Always interesting stuff, and not what you get when you go to the movies. You just see the show, but here you hear the stories behind it.
It's a lot of fun, and also, as locals, we know it's a great time during Sundance to go ski.
Yes, it is.
And let's talk about that. The Park City Quick Start Vacation Program is at www.parkcityinfo.com. And here's how the program works. You catch a morning flight from your home city, and upon arriving here in Utah, you make your way up to Park City. You then take your airline boarding pass along with the special Quick Start Vacation voucher, along with your photo ID to the ticket window at any of the Park City's 3 resorts. And they will give you a free lift ticket at their resort for use that day. This offer is good at Deer Valley, the Canyons, and at Park City Mountain Resort.
Now, there are some blackout dates, but not during Sundance, as Ed pointed out. The wonderful thing about Sundance is the slopes are always open.
Great time to ski.
Town's full, restaurants are full, the mountain's open. So you can ski and you can snowboard for free during the Sundance Film Festival. The blackout dates run from February 15th through March, so it's good from now, which is January 8th, through February the 15th, and then any time in April.
And oftentimes we get some big dumps in April, so don't miss that opportunity to get some really, really good powder skiing. Sometimes in April it can be the best of the year.
Yep.
To get your voucher, go to parkcityinfo.com. You can register for the program there, and they will automatically email you the required voucher, so be sure to do this before you leave home. There are some rules and regulations. Just make sure you read those so you satisfy all those requirements and get a very, very good ticket.
Yep. Can't be free.
Nope.
Now, let's talk about how you can buy real estate through your self-directed IRA. I've asked Ed to join us this month because he has particular expertise in this area. So before Ed shares with you about investing opportunities, let me tell you a little bit about Ed, because most of you don't know him, since this is actually his debut, first time presenting on the monthly Market Talk webinars. Welcome, Ed.
Here we go. Thank you, Ron.
I've known Ed for about 20 years, and we first met when I actually met his wife, Linda. She came up to Park City interested in real estate. Since then, Ed and Linda have bought and sold many properties, and they made Park City their full-time home in 2004. Ed's expertise includes 15 years as a real estate broker in the Southern California market, where he handled both single-family residential sales, also investment properties, rentals, apartments, and vacant land. Ed also became Series 7 licensed as a financial advisor and worked almost 10 years at one of the major Wall Street firms. He also owns investment real estate. He's transacted many properties using 1031 tax-deferred exchanges and administers a stock portfolio in his regular IRA, and owns investment real estate inside his own self-directed IRA. So he practices what he preaches, what he's going to tell you about today. Ed has a breadth of investment knowledge and a very rare perspective understanding of both the real estate and financial investing, and all these make him uniquely qualified to discuss with us this evening self-directed IRAs.
Well, thanks for the kind words, Ron. Let me say at the outset that we have all lived through some pretty tough times over the past 4 or 5 years. Both the stock market and the real estate market have taken some heavy hits, but the good news is both markets are recovering. The stock market has not quite doubled from its lows about 3.5 years ago. We think real estate has a similar potential right now. Interest rates are at all-time lows, prices are depressed, rents are definitely up, and there's an abundance of inventory that is starting to tighten up. It's a perfect time to invest.
And you can invest the old-fashioned way that most people are accustomed to doing, or you can use self-directed IRAs to invest in real estate. This option has opened up investment doors to many people who wouldn't otherwise have had the funds or the resources to invest in real estate, excuse me, but can tap into their IRA and buy real estate and in most cases generate a much higher return on their investment, which is very much needed in retirement accounts, especially after the hit that many people took over the last couple of years.
Definitely. And by accessing IRS allowable investments inside a self-directed IRA, many Americans can invest in real estate by using powerful but very little known IRS rules and regulations that we're going to talk about. A little known secret allows you to use your IRA to invest in real estate. Most folks believe that their only IRA investment choices are in CDs and the stock market, stocks and bonds. Using your IRA, you can invest in real estate. IRA investments allow tax-deferred or even tax-free profits using Roth IRAs. Now let's talk about some allowable investments. You can own single-family investment homes, apartments, duplexes, and commercial real estate. Mortgages, deeds of trust, and promissory notes if you prefer to get regular fixed income. Tax lien certificates can also be bought, and private limited partnerships can operate inside that IRA. And private placements, equipment leasing, and many other investments are also available.
Wow, there's quite a bit of flexibility there.
There sure is. Now let's talk quickly about some things you can't do in a self-directed IRA. You can't buy a property for your personal use in an IRA. You can't take property you already own and sell it to your IRA, and you can't manage your property held in an IRA and receive compensation for doing so. That's just a few of the limitations. Now let's talk about some advantages of self-directed IRAs. Your capital gains and income tax are tax-deferred and may be tax-exempt in Roth IRAs. You can diversify your IRA among stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and cash and real estate. So you don't have to actually be invested in just one thing in your IRA. You could still own stocks, bonds, and so on, and take a portion of that and invest it in real estate. And you can take advantage of our depressed real estate right now that seems to be recovering, and the cycle, of course, we think has very positive upturns right now. You get to direct your retirement investments instead of sitting helpless on the sidelines while you watch what happens to your retirement funds. We think that some people get to invest in what they actually know this way. Well, there's a whole lot more we can talk about here, from additional advantages to some disadvantages I haven't covered, and many more things, but we simply don't have time to do so right now.
For this reason, we've recorded a special webinar devoted exclusively to this subject. It covers the concepts in greater detail. We speak a little bit slower in it, and we offer you a step-by-step plan for you to review with your CPA or your financial advisor should you decide that you want to invest in real estate through your self-directed IRA. Lots of good information, too much to cover right here. But just go to our website at ronwilstein.com/self-directed IRAs and watch that presentation. I think you'll find it very informative, and it may be your next investment option that you decide to go with. Well, this brings us to the end of another Park City Market Talk webinar. We're glad that you've chosen to be with us. As is our practice, we always, at the conclusion of our presentation, we give you the opportunity to ask any questions, and feel free to put them into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. While you're doing that, we want to remind you that you can always go and rewatch this evening's presentation or any of our past presentations by going to ronwilstein.com/webinars. We have a host of webinars there on a variety of subjects, so by all means check them out. And if you happen to be a property owner who is considering selling a property, either now or in the future, we'd like to send you our latest issue of our Smart Seller magazine. It will provide you with valuable information, help you sell your property, and to help you get it ready in anticipation of selling, and helps you sell properties faster for more money in most instances than the traditional approaches that you may be familiar with. To receive a copy of our Smart Seller magazine, send us a quick email and include your mailing address, and we will drop one in the mail to you. So let's begin with one of the questions.
Looks like we have a question that already came in, Ron.
All right. It says, I've heard that you can't put money into an IRA to maintain your property if you need to, if there isn't surplus money already in the IRA. Is that correct?
Well, let's talk about that. First of all, I can't give you tax advice, but please consult with your CPA and we'll work with them. But let's talk about what you can and can't do here. If you're running out of money or you don't have money in your IRA and you need to pay, say, property taxes, there's a number of different ways, Ron, that you can get money back into that IRA, the self-directed IRA, to make those payments. First of all, you could just make your annual contribution directly to your self-directed IRA. So that would allow you to put thousands of dollars in that account. Another way would be to transfer some money from an already existing IRA and simply transfer it over to your self-directed IRA. And that brings up another point I'd like to speak to, okay, which is we really don't want people to just exclusively have their IRA in real estate. So we do believe in diversification, and you would keep your regular IRA account funded with some, let's say, stocks and bonds for this very purpose in case you needed money in your self-directed IRA for either repairs and or regular expenses.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught with no cash in there when you're dealing with a property that might require some maintenance.
And most of these self-directed providers will help you or remind you about that cushion that you need in there.
Okay. That's another question. If you buy a property through your self-directed IRA, do you have to hold on to it for a minimum time before you can sell it?
This is one of the places that self-directed IRAs really shine. So you can buy and sell properties to flip. You can buy land to subdivide and immediately realize profits without paying any immediate without paying any immediate gains. And this would be really good for somebody who wants to fix properties and flip them, or again, a subdivision where you want to realize a profit in a short period of time.
Okay.
So there is a requirement that your Roth IRA stay open for about 5 years before you take withdrawals, but for most of us, that is not going to be a problem whatsoever.
All right. Well, let's see. Well, looks like that's our questions for this evening. We appreciate those of you who have sent them in, and if you have any others that come to mind, by all means, contact us and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. You can reach us at 435-487-0151 or toll free 1-800-535-0151, or our email addresses are listed on the screen. You can reach Ed, Jeremy, or Ron at thewilsteinteam.com.
We're always available for your questions, and no obligation, of course. Our next Park City Market Talk webinar will be held on Tuesday, February 12th at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, so please mark your calendars. And we hope you will join us again.
And if you have any questions, again, please don't hesitate to contact us. So from all of us in Park City, have a good evening.
Good evening.